TF1, and you can just see in front of me, just over past those houses there, that there is a kind of a church-looking building. This is the town of Abades, which is a small kind of tourist town. A lot of German people come down here, and we're going to go off track here now, a little bit of off-road, and we're going to go and see if we can find this track that's going to lead us to that, what they call the Leprosy colony, which is an abandoned village, more better known as the Ghost Town of Tenerife. It's going to be quite an interesting one, this. Not been there before, so I don't really know what to expect from it. And we've got to try and navigate our way over there to see exactly how we get to it. There's also a lighthouse over there in the distance, which we might try and see how we get on with that as well. So a bit of off-roading here. Could really be doing this standing up, I suppose. But let's have a look how far we can get. This is why I've brought the Himalayan out. So this is kind of a little adventure bike, ideal for this kind of thing. Got 2 tacks in, more loose gravel. Let's see if this is even the right way. It doesn't look like it's the right way because that's blocked off there. Now then. Let's have a look how far we can get. When the boys were 9, 10 and upwards, we spent many years on these kind of tracks as I taught them how to ride motorbikes before they went on to kind of competitively riding motocross. There's a lot of this sort of stuff you can go on in Tenerife. Some is legal, some isn't. Kind of just find your way around these places. Some incredible views. It looks like we're going in the right direction. But then again, maybe not. Questionable if this is the right way or not. Let's see what we can find. Certainly looks like it's going to take us down to it. Just kind of remember before looking at this on the map and it didn't look as if it was going to be a taxing area to try and get down to. Now let me take a look. Oh. So, I don't know if you got a good shot from the 360 camera, but you can see where we are down here. Now, I was going to put the drone up, but it is really windy down here. Probably why they've got these windmills. I don't know if you can see them in the distance. Probably one of the windiest spots. So putting the drone up here might be a bit difficult. So it looks like we're going to have to do a bit on foot now. But I'm just in two minds whether this is the best spot to actually start from. And if there's a wrong turning somewhere that I may have made, because from what I did the research on the internet, you could get a lot closer to it. I don't want to be too far from the bike, because if there is any ghosts there, I want to be able to get off quick. And that's what I'm kind of worried about. So, motor, little hiking. Don't know. Anyway, let's have a look at the bike. Himalayan, with the top box, available for rental from us. We don't encourage off-roading, right? But we've got some pretty decent multi-terrain tyres on this. And there is some tracks that we can point you on that if you're an experienced rider and you've done a bit of adventure riding, it probably ain't going to work taking the Himalayan off down onto some of these back tracks, which you can get some absolutely fascinating scenery, especially up by the back of the volcano and stuff like that. You don't have to register to go on some of them, and we know the ones that you can go on and that you can't go on. So if you're gonna do it, then ask us first, because we'll tell you whether it's worth it. Because listen, you've got €1,200 deposits on these bikes. If you drop them, then it's going to be a problem for you, okay? And if you want to know how all that works, go back to some of the other videos. Now, I've got a question, right? I have a question for you, because this is something that's been puzzling me, and I wanted to know what our riders really thought about it. If you are with another rider and you've rented a couple of bikes off us, one of you has a mishap and he has to go off to get checked at the medical centre, do you think you have the responsibility to look after the bikes, to call us? Or do you think it's okay to leave the bike where it is, give us a call if, a couple of hours later in the day, and let us have to go and recover that? That's a question. Put it in there, answer it for me, because I want to know what you think, because I might have it wrong. I'll tell you what I think after, okay? So, what I like about this Himalayan as well, I love the dash, yeah? This is a little trip computer that tells you which way to go if you hook up to the app. We've got a compass, we've got a rev meter, we've got lots of numbers and clocks, and we've got digital stuff going on as well. And I love all that sort of gadget stuff. And the bike itself, it's easy enough to ride. I mean, it is what it is. It's a bit underpowered for me. But then again, I'm not an adventure rider, so 400cc for me in this style bike, probably best, yeah. I don't think I'd like to get on one of them big GS things and end up, you know, with one of them lying on my leg somewhere. Right, I think what we should do is get the bike a bit closer to the ghost town, because I don't want to get too scared. Right. Let's see what we can find. Now then, we don't look like we're far off the road. I think maybe this track over here okay. So we have found the entrance. We have found the entrance. Oh. Let's take a little look out there. The wind is just getting up that bit, and what we don't want to do really is start losing the drone and having a load of drama. But you can see the place itself. Quite eerie to think that the only way to actually solve the problem was to remove the problem. Look at this. I mean, obviously, look, the kids don't mind it down here. They'd probably have a whale of a time. But the only way to solve this problem with the leprosy at the time was to just actually remove them all. And just find somewhere to put them until they passed away themselves. I mean, the good thing is none of that ever happened. And it's another crazy place in Tenerife, the areas of Tenerife that you just never think. It's just far too windy to put the drone up, which I'm really disappointed about because I was really looking forward to getting some epic stuff. I've been practicing the drone stuff and I've been working it out, working the technology out and looking at some ways that we can do, you know, just something more than just track follow and all that sort of stuff. And I've really been looking forward to this one. But can't have it all. It's like an old, reminds me of, say, an old western. You could be on a horse riding into town and the bushweed blowing about. But anyway, motor hiking. Well, let me tell you, I've been working this motor hiking out for about 3 weeks now, and I'm 5 kilos lost in weight. 5 kilos lost in weight. In my day and age, we're always talking stone and pound, so that's about, it's nearly a stone to be honest. So I'm pretty pleased with that. And it's getting off the bike a bit more, moving about a bit more, and taking a look round at stuff like this, that making the difference. Well, if we can't get the bike down and we can't get the drone up, I think it's back to the drawing board on this one, because it's just, don't like leaving although Tenerife's very safe, leaving the bike here, not sure about that because it's a long walk back. Look over there in the distance, you can see, because there was going to be a government building here. You can just see the steeple of the church, which was built in Francoist style. I mean, it surprised me when I read that, because Francoist style, I thought they would have abolished him completely from the history books for the atrocities that he actually did. Because for those of you who don't know, and I'm not going to get into it because it's quite deep and quite open wounds for a lot of the Spanish people, but Franco and his government caused a lot of suffering. So to have a kind of a Francoist era, that how it's labelled, I was quite surprised to see. But I have to keep swapping arms, not because I'm trying to get more exercise, because this one hurts. Right then, well, we've got some much nicer places to see than this on our motor hiking series. But this is the Ghost Town of Tenerife. If you fancy coming and having a look, you need to head for Abades, come off the motorway for Abades, and then you will see the new town of Abades down at the bottom. You can go all the way down to the bottom, park, or put your bike down there, and you can actually take a hiking track which will bring you up to this ghost town here. And if you're into photography, stuff like that, you can have a walk around and get some great shots. But be careful, because I have walked around more here, and there is a lot of dangerous holes in the floor. A building's crumbling now. I mean, it's built in 1943 and never got finished, so it's never had any care and attention. So if you do come up here, then be careful and be safe. So let's get back on the bike. Now we've got to try and find our way back.